Hey, what's up guys? So I'm going to be talking about the buddy system here, and now what you have on screen are the latest updates from the Pokemon Go Niantic. So Niantic just released some of the updates for September 9th, 2016, and it says buddy Pokemon and other updates in Pokemon Go version 0.37 for Android and 1.70 for iOS. With the buddy system, what we're going to talk about is, you can see on the screen, is how when Niantic released the buddy system announcement and why is it taking so long for it to get here. Well, it's finally here. It's September 9th, and they've just released it to some of the phones. I don't have access to it yet, but as soon as I do, I will be making a video about that. So as you can see in the buddy system, the previews, when it first came out on the screen, it says go out, explore with your buddy system, and it's just a way for you guys to walk with it. It says, we've been busy fixing on some of the new features for Pokemon Go. Was recently released the appraisal system, and now they're coming with the buddy system. So the buddy system, it says that it'll come out in the fall, which is true. It just came out in September, and it says that you'll be able to pick your favorite Pokemon from your collection to become your buddy, opening up unique in-game rewards and experiences. What that means is you're probably gonna walk with this Pokemon for a while, and you're either gonna get candy for it, or some type of experience, or some sort of prize for doing so. So the first photo that we see over here, I'm gonna click on it, and it's gonna be the Charmander next to the trainer that chooses to put it there. And as you can see, the trainer is level 7, and you can see the Charmander right next to them, and it shows your background. And I think this is going to be in the bottom left corner of your screen when you click on your person's avatar, and it will show this screen up, and then you can sort of see which Pokemon you're walking and how much experience you have in your level and everything else, which will be the same. The next photo, it shows the person that's around a gym area pretty much, and they're just walking around, and you can see on the bottom left next to the person's little avatar icon, you can sort of see the Charmander next to it, and it's got a red bar filled up a little bit. So that just shows that as you're walking, the red bar will continue to fill up, and it will let you know when those 2 kilometer, 1 kilometer, or 3 kilometer are up. And I guess based on that, it will be like the level up scenario where it pops up, it says you've leveled up and here are your rewards. So I'm sure it's gonna say, hey, your Charmander has leveled up by walking, and then here are the rewards. It could be experience for the Pokemon itself. Maybe it gains CP. It could gain a stronger attack or some reason, or it could gain HP. My own hypothesis, or how I want them to do it, is that your Pokemon can gain stats. So they can gain attack, defense, or stamina. Just like we have items in the regular Pokemon games. You have iron, you have protein, you have calcium and whatnot, and you can increase its stats using those. So maybe walking with it can actually do that, and in that case, battling will become more extreme, it'll become more competitive, and I think it'll be better overall. So then we're going to jump into the next photo. This one shows Snorlax is now your buddy. So this person just selected the Snorlax, and now it's their buddy, and then it shows up in the background again, and then there's a picture of the Squirtle, and I think they're showing that for size of the Pokemon, that how they will fit in. And then Charmander again, and then the last photo is again the first one that we started with, where the bar is going to be filled up for Charmander. So that's all of what Niantic released beforehand with the photos, and it got us all excited and whatnot. And now it's saying that it's just been released, and for some versions, not for others. So if you don't have it right now, don't panic. It's coming to you guys. And now I want to talk about some of the possibilities that you want to use as your buddy system. A lot of people have been asking me, which Pokemon are you going to use to walk and stuff like that. And I've thought about it a lot. Conditions for which I picked this Pokemon, well, some of them were personally for my situation itself. Like, how much Pokemon do I need to evolve? How much Pokedex entries I need, or how hard is it to get candies to power up that Pokemon. The first criteria I think that is main for you guys is completing that Pokedex. I'm very objective based. I love completing the Pokedex. I'm actually only one away. I need an Aerodactyl in order to complete my American Pokedex, and then I'll move on to other regions and whatnot. But for right now, for Pokedex based, if you're having trouble finding Grimers or Coughings or whatever the case is, you should go and walk that Pokemon, because you're going to get candy for it. It'll be slow, but at least you're walking, you're hatching your eggs at the same time, and it's an added bonus. So my first criteria is completing the Pokedex. The second one is gym battling. So if you have a Pokemon, it's top tier, but you don't have enough candies for it, well, you want to walk it. You'll get more candies for it, and then you can power it up and eventually take more gyms with it. My examples are going to be, Lapras, Snorlax, Aerodactyl, even just these strong Pokemon that you don't come across every day and it's hard to get candy for. You should be walking them. And my third criteria is pretty much that for evolving, if there's a Pokemon that's very top tier, but you're having trouble finding candies for it, or it's just hard to come by and you want to evolve it for gym battling, then yeah, walk with it. It'll give you more candies, and you can go from there. So those are my three criterias for picking which Pokemon, and now we're gonna move on to the list. So, hey, what's up, guys? So I've been coming up with a list of Pokemon that I think you should walk in the buddy system, and I just want to let you guys know which Pokemon I think I should be walking in order to prepare for future generations as well as completing my Pokedex. So the first one I'm going to talk about is going to be the starters, Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur. Now, if you're in the game, you're having a tough time finding one of them, I would go ahead and just put that as your buddy system. It does take 2 kilometers of walking just to get like one reward for them. Now, the reward might be a candy, it might be a great ball, it might be a berry, I'm not really sure, but you do get rewards as you walk the Pokemon. And for the starters, even though they come out of the 2 kilometers eggs, they actually require 2 kilometers to walk for one reward. Whereas the other 2 kilometer eggs usually require just 1 kilometer of walking, the starters actually require 2 kilometers. Now, the next up after the starters is actually going to be one of my personal favorites, Onyx. Now, why should you walk Onyx is because for the second gen, when you have the ability to evolve the Onyx into a Steelix. Now, Onyxes, they're not very common around here. I actually hatched 2 of them, so I got a whole bunch of candy. And I have about 68 candies right now, and you can see that on the screen that I don't need any more Onyxes. So I'm probably not going to be walking the Onyx. Next up, we have one of my personal favorites, Scyther, which is actually going to turn into a Scizor, which is just a dominating Pokemon in the second gen. It was one of the first steel types, and it was actually really strong and fast. So I think it's going to be a great attacker, and you should definitely save up candies for it. Again, I actually caught a bunch of Scythers and hatched a bunch of Scythers as well, so I think I'm good for the candy. But for those of you who don't see them that often or haven't hatched one yet, I'll just make sure to walk with it and make sure you're ready for that second generation. The next Pokemon I want to talk about is Chansey. Now, I actually ran into 2 Chanseys and I hatched one, but I used all the candies from the hatched one to power it up just to see how high it would go, and I didn't realize about the second generation where it evolves into Blissey. So pretty much for Chansey, you want to start saving up the candies and make sure you can evolve it. By my estimate, it's again going to take about 50 candies, and right now I only have like 6 or 7. So I'm definitely going to be walking my Chansey, even though I would prefer to walk other Pokemon. I just feel like it's smarter to walk the Chansey than other ones. Next, we're going to be talking about another Pokemon that you can use in your buddy system, which is Dratini. I know a lot of people, they don't find enough Dratinis, and it's hard for them to get the Dragonite, which is something that we all want because it has very high CP, it's a good attacker, and it's a decent defender in the gym. So it can definitely help you take some gyms and hold them as well. Now, for Dratinis, for me, I see them very commonly. I've already evolved 2 Dragonites and I can evolve 2 more. So there's no point for me to walk a Dratini, and especially since it takes 3 kilometers just for 1 candy. I don't think that's personally worth it. I would rather walk the Chansey or something that I can use in second generation. But if you guys are having a tough time getting Dratinis, this would be a great way for you to just walk with it and hatch your eggs at the same time and get one step closer to that Dragonite like we all want. Now, Snorlax is an awesome defender. It's an awesome gym taker, and that's one Pokemon that everyone should definitely have. Now, as you can see on my screen, I only have 2 Snorlaxes, and they're both like 600 CP that I caught in the wild, and I only have 6 candies. So for me, it's not really a viable option to start walking my Snorlax every 3 kilometers and get a candy when I don't really have a goal for it. I would just be getting more candy. So if you guys have a Snorlax that's very powerful, but you're having trouble finding the right candies for it, or like finding more candies for it, then make sure to walk the Snorlax, you'll get candies for it, and then you can power it up and make it the strongest it can be. Next on the list is going to be Lapras. Lapras is in the same position as Snorlax. It's a great defender, it's a great attacker for gyms, and it's really rare to come by. So if you don't have enough candies, I would walk with it, try to power it up. Mine is actually 2089, and I was contemplating on walking with it and powering it up, but I think Chansey's a better option for me, only because I want to be objective based. I want to hit the next Pokedex as soon as I can. About the fossil Pokemon, for me personally, I have evolved both, and I fight them now and then, so I'm not going to be walking them. And I think that Amistar, while it is a very powerful Pokemon, Ammonites are very rare to come across, so if you guys are having trouble with the fossil Pokemon, I would just walk them. And this goes for any Pokemon that you need to evolve in your Pokedex. Grimers, Coughings, whatever is very rare to you or you need to finish up your Pokedex, just walk with it. It's simple as that. My next discussion is actually Porygon, which does have an evolution in the second gen, and this comes out of a 5K, so I can only assume that in the buddy system you only need to walk 2 kilometers in order to get its reward. Now, Porygon for me, I don't have a strong one, so even if I do get enough candy to evolve, I'm not going to be able to. So unless I hatch a Porygon out of a 5 kilometer or see a stronger one in the wild, I'm not really going to consider putting it on my buddy system and walking around with it. Because, 2 kilometers for 1 reward, that's going to take too long. I would rather be working on that Chansey going to Bliss. I think that just about sums up all the buddy system options that I have. Again, for me personally, I will be going with my Chansey. As soon as it comes out, I'll start walking it everywhere, trying to get as many candies as I can. Only because Blissey to me is, it won't be a top tier Pokemon. Chansey isn't either in defending or attacking, but it does have a lot of health, and I'm going for that Pokedex entry. So I want to be the first one to evolve that Chansey, put it on YouTube, and for you guys to see exactly like how big Blissey can get. It might be like Dugtrio, it only goes up to like 600, 700, whatever the deal is, but it will have a lot of health, and I think it will outrank some of the Pokemon in gym battles. So I hope you guys found this useful. Drop a like in the video, and make sure to subscribe, and also stay tuned for more Pokemon Go content.